There we go.
Here I am.
My, com- my computer is trying to fight with me again tonight for some reason.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So you ready for tonight?
Yeah, let's get it.
I think it's going to be a good subject tonight. It's going to be just me and you again tonight. Sarah's decided she didn't want to come on, so
Okay.
looks like it's the two amigos.
We got it. We
We
got it.
got it. We got this.
We got it.
Ah, no step for a stepper. That's what Dad used to say.
That's right. We got a good little crowd here tonight, too.
We do. We got some people already waiting in here for us.
Hmm.
We got Russell Wyatt and Tracy's here and Silver Bullet and Lisa and Randy.
Mindy,
Yeah.
Emmy, Dana, Taco Bella's mom.
Taco Bella. Is that
Hmm.
must be a new one, huh?
Uh-huh. Chris. You said Silver Bullet. Nancy.
There's Qbot.
Oh, hey, Cubot.
We got quite a few people was already waiting on us tonight. I guess they're wanting to hear our opinions tonight.
Yeah,
Wonder
they're
how popular.
ready
Ready
for
for Christmas?
questions too. Yeah.
Yeah. Mom's making Christmas candy tonight, so
Ooh, yum.
yeah.
What
Everything that I
kind?
don't. What are you making tonight?
I'll make fudge.
Fudge,
And
sugar
Oh,
cookies,
I'm gonna make a cherry cookie,
cherry cookie,
and it's
ooh.
called a cowboy cookie.
and cowboy cookies.
Okay. I want the fudge.
I
Fudge.
might, I might try to record some of it and put it on the other channel if I can. I like fudge, but it makes my heart pound.
Ooh, it's good.
Randy wants to know who'd make better werewolf bait, me or you.
Probably me. He's
I think
always
I'm.
throwing me under the bus.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to take Randy on a spook hunt with us and let him be the bacon cooker.
Yep. But you
Scott's
had
at work
some,
tonight, I guess.
I guess so. You had some really good stories this week. They were awesome.
Everybody liked the longer story that I done. I got a lot of compliments on that. It's actually look at it right now. Uh, it is. It's still trending and almost 6,000 views right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey,
Yeah, it's
there's
good.
Red Tick Hound.
Hey, Red Tick Hound. It's good to see him. See here, we're up on everything. Almost 6,000. So
That's great.
yeah, I think everybody likes the longer stories. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. That one was pretty scary.
Oh, Taco Bella's mom said that her phone got hacked whenever we done the live about the witches and the warlocks. It's okay. We got rid of the warlock. He's not on here anymore. So you should be safe now.
Yeah.
Red Tick Hound, that's awesome to hear. We love having you here too. We keep you in our thoughts and prayers always. Speaking of that, we did have a prayer request. I need to find that. Uh, it was one of our subscribers.
Oh,
Remember, there it is. It's a. I'm having one of them nights. Margie Burt, guys, she's asked for us to pray for her. She has COPD and is in the hospital, and she said that we have some of the best prayer warriors on our channel, and she would ask that we would all keep her in our prayers. So prayers for healing for her and that she gets to go home for Christmas.
Absolutely. Praying for you, Margie.
Well, tonight we're going to talk about why are some of these cryptids supposedly, allegedly nice and some allegedly mean. I honestly don't think any of them are nice. I think that if you're interacting with them and they haven't hurt you yet, it's just because they haven't had the opportunity to be able to.
I agree. Could be.
You know, maybe they know that if they attack the people right now that say they're having like, relationships with them and stuff, but they can't make it look like a accident right now, so they don't do it because they know they'll be hunted.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went outside and twisted your ankle and become compromised, then they might decide, hey, this is our opportunity to be able to make it look like he just couldn't make it back in the house,
Right. Right.
Because I
Yeah,
don't.
there's a lot of people that or well, quite a few that gift them. And then I've
Yeah,
heard the stories where they they go out of town for a week and not there to gift them, and then they come back to havoc at their house.
yeah. Or like the lady, that poisoned the one, and
Oh,
it came back and killed her boyfriend.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
just, I think they don't have our best intentions. Uh, I think that maybe some of them, and I believe in the Nephilim blood, maybe some of them wish they wouldn't have failed, and maybe they're hoping for redemption.
that's a good possibility. I've heard that said before. Um, of course, it's they don't have any redemption if they're the Nephilim. That's God didn't make them.
Right.
So,
Or the old lady that got took. Yeah, there was an old lady that got took because she stopped, feeding them.
right.
Uh, Even if you had one, I think that was hoping for redemption, I don't think you could still trust them. I think they still have that streak of evil in them, resentfulness maybe toward us.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's too many people that go missing, and I mean, it's not all dog dogmen or Bigfoot or there's a lot of people go missing,
Right.
and who's to know which one's doing it, or are both doing it, or what else is out there doing it.
Yeah, or those other things that we don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Attraction power. Oh, Brother Michael, this is Brother Shell. Shell, you're under a new name tonight. You're trying to throw us off. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to trick us. Another thing is why do you think they're so attracted to kids? What do you think the attraction is to kids?
Oh, that could be that they're small. And if they eat them, that's dinner. But the kids are small, they're helpless. I'd say that they would be easier to snatch than an adult.
Right. Beverly's asking for prayers. She said she's going through such a bad time right now too. So everybody keep Beverly in your prayers.
I'm praying,
Uh,
Beverly.
Predators are attracted to a baby crying or
Mm-hmm.
kids, being loud. That will bring up all kinds of predators. So I wonder if they're attracted the same way.
That could be what people use rabbit calls to call in coyotes.
Right.
The squealing of a rabbit.
Yes.
I think
That works
that's,
actually really good.
yeah. So
See,
that's very possible.
and Dana says some people said they have been saved and helped by him, and I think that's the ones that are still hoping for the redemption.
Hmm.
But I think as time goes on and they realize there is no redemption for them, eventually that's going to turn to jealousy and probably going to shred and eat you.
Yeah.
I know that they will never be
Oh,
redeemed. I know that.
oh yeah. Candace said kids are pure and not sinned yet. Good point.
Right.
The innocence.
And they are the ones that are the closest to God and everything. So that would be an abomination to God by killing the children.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an attack directly at God.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to be the person though that made an attack directly at God with a child.
Mm-mm. No.
I would think that there would be some pretty high price for that.
Absolutely.
And especially when you're doing it on purpose
Mm-hmm.
and bragging
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Another question people asked is why do the creatures wear our clothes? That some people say they've seen them wearing our clothes.
Maybe they like the smell of human.
Do you think they do it to maybe throw us off, to make us think that it's another human out there hunting? So maybe we won't think twice about it?
That's a good possibility.
Like, it's just another guy over there walking through the woods hunting.
It's cute.
Could be.
Let's see. George Peters, I think, had a question. Do rabbit calls work on dog men? I bet they would. I would think it would call up a dog man because if they sense an animal's in trouble.
Three Q-bots.
I don't see it.
It's up to the top.
They said Q-Bot's got one, but I missed it.
She says L.A. Marzulli and his team have been investigating for years, which I watch L.A. Marzulli, love L.A. Marzulli, recommend him highly, and say they now know what's happening. Have you heard what he said? What is happening?
I haven't heard.
I hadn't heard. I must have missed that one.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
I thought Brooks listened or read about him.
Randy says that might be a bad idea, pretending to be a dead animal. It might come and eat you.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good possibility if they come up there looking for something and you're the only thing
Mhm.
there. So I'll tell you all this story in case some of y'all didn't get to see the story, and we'll talk a little bit about it. There was this lady that moved to a new town, and she had her kids with her. And their neighbor was an older lady, and the kids were over. And for some reason, she liked to eat flies. Uh, Her front door was covered in slavers, they said, from her licking the glass from eating the flies. They said it was so thick you couldn't even see out the door. And she would stand there day after day just licking the front glass. she'd have flies all in her teeth and all in her mouth, and they said all over her face sometimes, or just smashed where she'd rub her face on the glass, and just old crusty spit that would dry on her face. I guess just a pretty nasty lady. And they eventually asked her to go to church, and she got a little upset over that and didn't want to go to church. And eventually they had the preacher go over, which I guess was supposed to have done an exorcism on her. The kids had went to church, and the preacher had him in there by himself, and he was sitting in one of the pews, and he mentions to one of the kids, "You little tattletale," while he's sitting there pulling flies off of a fly trap, eating them. So they end up moving out of town, and the preacher follows them to the end of town. So do you believe that the preacher got possessed from the lady, or do you think this whole town had something going on?
Oh, I'm thinking the whole town had something going on. It's the eating the flies. You've heard people talk about the reptilians. That's what it made me think. Are they reptilians?
Right. Yeah, because they
Ugh,
said that she was just licking all over that window, and just
ugh,
like flies stuck to her face and everything.
ugh. Oh.
Then the preacher got mad, and he called the little kids tattletales.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and that's funny how he's the preacher and doing the church services, yet the lady didn't want to go to church. That's interesting.
yeah, and then he
Hmm.
kind of like takes up for her because he tells the kids that they're a tattletale.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Hmm.
okay, kids. Eating flies is normal.
Ugh. It's kind of like that Everybody Loves Raymond episode where his brother dates that girl that has all those frogs and she's eating flies. Ugh.
Well, they said that she would uh like chew them with her teeth out. You could hear her like slopping them and like chewing them, and I guess
Ooh.
it was pretty nasty.
Yeah, I can imagine a person doing that. I mean, I got a dog that he likes the spicy flies or whatever. He
Ugh.
catches them and eats them.
And can you imagine the preacher sitting there like pulling these flies off of that sticky tape and like just munching on them?
Ooh, ooh, crunch,
You
crunch,
know?
crunch.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it
ooh,
had to be sticky too, coming off of that stuff. That had to be pretty bad.
ooh.
I think there might have been a little bit of possession there.
Something.
I don't know, for some reason, I keep thinking about the door having all those slobbers on the window.
Uh, yeah, there again, it reminds me of my dogs. You have that glass door and that level where they've got their nose all over the door. Ugh,
Yes. And then the
ugh,
other one's sitting there licking it off.
ugh.
It
That's disgusting.
yeah, she definitely has some problems. Uh I think that probably more than likely there was some demon possession going on.
Yeah, definitely something.
Uh
But it's been said, even in the Bible that the churches will be infiltrated. I didn't always say it was a parishioner, you know.
ugh. I just I don't know, that's sickening to me just to think of them doing that. And then people trust these creatures and say, they talk to them and they gift them, and
Hmm.
uh, you know, they have conversations with them, and they say these creatures give them information about the future. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think I'd be carrying on a conversation with one.
No, I think I'd pretty much want them to know that they were not welcomed around my house. I think that that's a bad idea to make them feel welcomed.
Yes.
Darla says that's a great way to lose an appetite. And Beverly 8 says, Merry Christmas and God bless y'all. There's a lot of kids that end up getting took, and then they end up finding them in weird places too. And sometimes they're okay, and sometimes they're not okay.
Right.
I think it depends on the one that takes them, and also it depends on, are they wanting to be redeemed? Are they wanting to take the kid for other reasons? Why do they want the kids? That's what I wonder.
Right.
Why would they want the kids?
Well, you did that story on that one little boy where after they found him, the look on that little boy's face, his eyes were like popping out of his head. That kid was in shock.
Yeah. It reminded me
He,
of that dead little kid that the Bigfoot, held up to the window of the guy's house.
mm-hmm. That was a bad story too. Ooh.
Yeah, shaking it at the window,
Mm.
playing the little teddy bear's music box. Randy thinks they're taking the kid for a later snack.
Could be.
Yeah, kids are easy. Yeah, kids are easy. Plus, they're curious, so they would walk over and try to check out something.
Right.
So that could make it pretty scary.
It makes you wonder, would they take the kids if they didn't kill them? And being that small and having them grow up in their clan or whatever for
Well,
breeding purposes, maybe?
back whenever my granny was alive a long time ago, there was a family that lived in another town by us, and their son had made friends with something in the woods, and he would stay out later and later and later, and eventually he stopped even coming home. So we don't know if he went to live with them or if they eventually killed and ate him, but they never found a
Right.
body.
Well, some people say they live in the cave systems. Could they have taken him underground and, like I said, keep him for interbreeding? That's a possibility.
Yeah, there's no telling what that little boy went through when they finally decided they was going to keep him.
Mm.
Or he could have even just got lost, one of those cave systems. He couldn't find his way out.
Right.
Candace says she thinks the kids are taken to scare and to hurt God.
I don't think that would.
Mm.
They don't scare God.
They're building their army. Qbot says they're building their army.
Could be.
Susan said, "Oh my gosh, Brooks, no."
Well, I hope not too, Susan, really. It's just a thought. If they get them when they're little, that's like if you adopt a baby, that baby thinks you're his parents. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The kid wouldn't know any different.
Qbot says that's what LA says. Wow.
Well,
So maybe they are breeding an army underground.
yeah.
That's interesting. Makes you think about next time you walk by a hole in the ground or something, don't it?
I used to love going to caves and stuff. I went to Interspace Caverns was that near Austin? Longhorn Caverns near Lake LBJ. Been to Carlsbad Caverns. I used to love to do that. And yeah, no, I'm not doing that no more.
You go down in there and the lights go out.
No, yeah, no, not one what could possibly be down in there. Nope.
Or like Branson, they do all those cave tours down underground and everything.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was
Makes you
really neat.
wonder what's under there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and what the Native Americans, uh, the giants were living in the caves, and they dropped the boulders on the entrance to the cave, sealed up the cave.
Wow,
So yeah,
that'd be scary.
yeah, we don't know what's deep down in those caves.
They have Christmas caves in Ohio.
Hmm.
That's
about
cool.
Jesus?
That's
Oh,
cool.
awesome.
Huh.
Can you imagine going in a cave and something push a boulder over the entrance?
Uh, can't get out.
Happened to Jesus and he got out.
Beverly says she named her second son Branson. Yeah, I believe that too, Dana. I believe that the government knows all about Sasquatch a lot more than we know about him.
Mm-hmm.
She says LA says that they are building their army.
Is that a Zula? Is that a book?
That's a guy.
Yeah.
Does he have a?
I believe it.
He has a page.
I absolutely believe it. I think they're the beasts, not the beast, the beasts, plural, of the earth. And I think there's more than just Bigfoot, dogmen. I think there's a whole slew of whatever. Um, I think they'll come out during tribulation. That's when they're gonna go on their killing spree.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what is it? Randy says there's going to be an all-you-can-eat buffet for them when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be the ones sitting in the houses snacking on us, probably.
Yeah.
They said reptile people live underground.
Mm-hmm.
There's no telling what's under these cave systems that live down in there.
Yeah.
You might be outside walking by an old cave system and hear something making a noise at you, trying to get you to walk over there.
Yeah.
You know, you walk over there and it run out of that cave and grab you.
Yeah. Be crying like a little baby. What's your first instinct? Oh my gosh, there's a baby in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy says that's why they're taking samples and blood from the cattle to help manufacture these hybrid face blue white eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is scary. 3 to 7,000 feet tall. 300 to 7,000 feet tall. Imagine that. We got a question. Tanisha says, where do you think they would live if there's no caves in that area? They got river bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
They've got little islands that stick out in the lakes around here that people don't even go to. There's old barns that are left abandoned, old hay barns. There's a lot of places they could go and stay.
Farmhouses. And, who knows? They could build dens like coyotes do.
Right.
We had that old water well that we filled most of the way in. We always thought something stayed in there.
Mom said they thought down at their house they had something they thought lived down in their old water well.
Right.
And that well could have opened up somewhere else too. It could have been a network of caves under there.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if when Randy comes down, if I could lower him down and he could check it out for me.
I bet he would.
Well, it's full of
Wouldn't
big
you,
rocks.
Randy?
There ain't no telling where all them tunnels run under the ground, and that might be how they get around.
Well, they say like Carlsbad Caverns and all these caves, they all connect at some point. That's what I've heard.
Well, you know, when we
They
would
go
see it,
thousands of miles.
whenever we see it run across the pasture, all of a sudden it just disappeared. And we often wonder if it jumped down in that well.
She said it. They'd see it running across the pasture a lot of times, and when it would get close to the well, it would just disappear.
Right,
So they were pretty sure that it was probably jumping down in there,
right,
and it probably had a tunnel down there.
probably.
Well, it had water in it.
Come on, Sharon, let's go down in the caves. That'd be fun. We could lower you down with Randy. That way, Randy could hold the light.
I agree with Attraction, the Book of Enoch, because, yeah, you should check it out.
Check out the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, Enoch explains a lot. Even though it is not considered canon to the Bible, Enoch is in the Bible, spoken
Right.
of in the Bible, and God took Enoch. Enoch didn't die.
Yeah, wasn't he one of the very few that was took that didn't die?
Mm-hmm.
See, what was it? Enoch didn't die, and who else was it that didn't die?
Tracy, who was it?
Yeah, come on,
I always
Tracy.
say it wrong.
Was it Elijah?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it
I
was
think it was
Elijah.
Elijah. Went up in a chariot of fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Where's it at? Find it right there.
Yeah, Elijah. She said it was Elijah.
Ellen says that, Mom, you need to get in front of the camera. They can always hear you in the background.
I agree.
Yeah.
Come on,
Sometimes
Kay.
it makes me feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes. Traction Power says that Enoch is canon, but evil men of the devil took out Enoch from the book of the scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
Amy said she's reading the book of Enoch and it's amazing.
It is. It's good. You can also, if people are interested, I mean, they do have audiobooks of it. You can, even on YouTube, you can listen to the Book of Enoch.
I'm going to have to check that out, I guess. I haven't read it either, but I need to. I need to read it. So what do you think about all these little kids that were found half ate? Do you think that they enjoy eating the kids, or do you think it's a mockery?
Well, I think they eat the kids because they're hungry. But then on the other hand, I don't know what a family member did to piss them off for them to do that. That could be a possibility.
You think it could be a sacrifice?
You know, I don't know that these animals do sacrifices. I think they're just mean.
They just do it to just out of just pure evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's what they're bred for. I think that's what they're here for.
Look at the little boy, that they cut his head off and just stuck it underneath his arm.
Mm-hmm.
That's just mean. That's
just pure evil.
Question: does the Book of Enoch go against the Bible, or what? Really don't know. What is your opinion, Mike? Man, I've heard different things about the Book of Enoch. I've heard that it wasn't the inspired word of God. I've heard that there is truth in it and there is not truth in it, and you have to be careful reading it. I've heard that it is the truth. I've heard some preachers say that it shouldn't be read. I honestly don't know. I'm not the right person to ask about that. Brooks might know more about it. I haven't read it, so I don't know.
Well, I can't say whether, I think they left it out, whoever put the books together, personally, because Enoch is mentioned in the Bible. I mean, if you read the Book of Enoch, there's a lot of information there that's pretty darn scary that they might have want to have left out. So making it a realization. And then again, then you have like the Smithsonian hiding all the giant bones and stuff and saying, "Oh no, those weren't here." You know, I think
I
it's
was
I
watching.
think it's a trick to hide what really happened on the earth.
Qbot says there was two. Have you heard of that?
There
One
was
good one and one from the line of Cain.
I don't know. Can't answer that one.
Where's Tracy?
Does Tracy know about that one? Tracy, do you know if there was two? I've never read it, and I don't like to give people if I don't know because I've never read it.
Well, it's something you have to use with in yourself, your own discernment. I mean, go with after you read it. Um, go with your gut. What you think?
Sharon says that the Enoch one goes along with the Bible. It's great with the end time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Tanisha says it's very scary how Sasquatches get revenge on us by killing people or animals if we do something they don't like. It shows how they have more of a human thinking rather than animal thinking. Oh yeah, I think they think
Mm-hmm.
way along the lines of humans. I believe that they're vindictive, they're able to plan. I think they're a lot smarter than what some people give them credit for.
Oh, I definitely believe they're a hybrid of a human, the Bigfoot.
I think they're very intelligent, and that's what makes them
Mm-hmm.
scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at that story I just done on that kid and his dad. They went hunting and he accidentally looked at it. It seen him and then followed him home. And look how hard it was trying to get into the house. It
Yeah.
was literally tearing the door apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it was trying to scare him. I think that was actually trying to come in.
Right.
I think that was an attempt to come into the house.
Right.
And then you have to ask yourself, if it's tearing the door down, why do they not go to the window?
Yeah. I was thinking that too. I mean, I don't know. They may. I mean, maybe they think the glass would cut them. Maybe they've broken glass before and been cut.
And because they see you go in and out the door.
You think it's because they see us go in and out the door that maybe they
Right.
don't reference a window as an entry point?
That's very possible.
Because they mimic a lot of things that we do. What about you? Remember the lady I had on a long time ago, and she told us that she spoke to Bigfoot, and she
Mm-hmm.
said that Bigfoot told her that they were afraid of glass because they didn't understand it.
Okay, there you go.
Because they could see through it, but they didn't understand it. It
Right.
was like, I guess, maybe weird to them.
Could
And
be.
I've wondered also, do you think that maybe because this is going deep, I know, but the Indians and a lot of tribes did not like mirrors because they believed that if they were to see themselves, they would die. Do you think it has something to do with their reflection,
Reflection. It could.
refraction, and
Well,
reflection?
it could be. I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, could be that they've broken glass before, and someone, one of them said, "Don't do that." That, have a sharp point of glass and touch it and it hurts them.
And
Um,
that makes a lot of sense too, because you know, uh, they go and they scavenge, in like junkyards and junk pits and people's burn piles and stuff. So I bet they've been cut and stuff by it before. And if I had an intelligence, a high intelligence, say like they do, and I wanted to remain hidden, the last thing I would want to leave behind would be a blood sample.
Right.
Because then they, the government is going to know exactly what was there, and
Right.
maybe that's part of it. Mark said something I thought was really, really good. He said, I've read it. I think it might have been removed from the Bible because it makes the fallen seem accessible and might tempt people to explore the possibilities without comprehending their intelligence. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yes. Very
I thought
good.
that was a very good comment. I think that makes a lot of sense because there's some people out there that if they believe that there's a fallen angel they can go out there and talk to in the field, they're going to go out there and try to do it, not understanding the consequences of that angel is not there to help you.
Right.
This one person said, let's see, I seen two I thought were really good. This person, you're scared, Jody. There are stories of them coming through a window to get someone when upset enough to do that. And this person said, even coming through a wall or up through the floor. I've heard more of them coming through a wall and up through the floor. You remember the story about the Ape Canyon attack?
Mm-hmm.
It came through the wall and grabbed that guy. It didn't
Right.
come through the door or the window. It actually just like grabbed him through the wall.
Right.
Another thing I've thought about too, and a lot of people don't like him. One of dipshit don't like him. I like him. Stephen King, I think, is a good artist, and I think
Uh-huh.
he's a great writer. And the siege of Palmyra, Maine, the Bigfoot thing that happened up there.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Stephen King, he's from Maine. Look
Mm-hmm.
at the movie Silver Bullet.
Right.
I think there's a lot more than just a movie right there. There's a lot of thought that went into that movie. Like the little boy, being out by himself, and the uncle telling him don't be out after dark. And I believe there was a lot of hidden information in that movie.
Well, and it makes you wonder if Stephen King, I mean, he is an excellent author if you like those types of stories. It makes you think, did he have something happen to him growing up or even in his young adult life to where he's coming up with some of this stuff? I mean, did something set that into motion? Did he see a werewolf?
I bet he has.
Oh,
And you know
thank
what's
you, Attraction.
Yeah, thank you very much, Attraction Powers. We appreciate that a lot. Uh, I wonder this. Do you think that there's something to preachers and the evil things? Because in Silver Bullet, the preacher was the werewolf.
Right.
I mean, I know some preachers that aren't preachers that profess to be a preacher for
Right.
for sure. And uh, I guess I'm hard headed because I had one walk up to me one time and was introduced to me as, "Oh, I want you to meet my husband. He's a preacher." And I said, "I ain't shaking his hand. He ain't no preacher." And I didn't. And because I knew what he does behind closed doors. And
Right. I
I
think
think that,
there are some legitimate ones, but you're right. There's some crooked ones.
I'll tell you right now, that Kenneth Copeland puts chills down my back.
He's just strange looking. I'm sorry. He's
And Jesse Duplantis, he got really weird. And he
mm-hmm.
used to be pretty good. But I watched
Yeah.
Copeland and him. Did you see
Mm-hmm.
him do the blood thing?
Uh-uh.
They cut their hands, or Kenneth Copeland cut his. Jesse Duplantis cut his hand. They bled it into wine or something, juice or something, and Kenneth Copeland drank it. That's a blood oath witchcraft right there.
Wow. No, I missed that.
Yeah, they done it. It's going around right now.
Hmm. I'll have to look for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, Attraction. They shared and drank the blood. They did. That really bothered me.
Yeah, that's not biblical.
No.
No.
And they said that he was standing on the airplane that he bought, and it was cloudy. And Kenneth Copeland stood up, and uh, they said he done a lot of weird things, but he was supposedly talking in tongues, but his eyes turned black, and he parted the clouds.
Hmm.
The parted them. I'm telling you, this guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark's right. False prophets.
Yeah.
I mean, this did you see the one where they confronted him and asked him if he talked about I'm not riding on airplanes because I'm not riding with demons?
Yeah, that woman interviewed him. Yeah,
Did he not look like he got really angry?
I know. I'm telling you, he is strange looking. I
He might be
and I
somebody's brother I know on here. They get
uh,
along good.
and I
It
mean,
just
I used to watch Jesse Duplantis years ago, and I thought he was really good. I tell you what, some of these, I mean, they start out and they're really good, and then all of a sudden it's the money, man. They start going after people for their money.
well, did you Jesse Duplantis even said on there that a guy was griping at him and said, "Well, I don't think preachers should be millionaires." And Jesse Duplantis was laughing, and you know what he said? Let me correct you. That's multi-millionaire.
Uh-huh.
And then he
uh.
started laughing. And I thought, wow.
And they're taking money from people that don't have money. I mean, they could use that extra 20 or 50 or $100 for food or to pay a bill. And I believe those people they'll have to answer for that.
I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying her name on here or not. I probably will. I'm going to see how I can say this without getting in trouble. Did you all happen to see the lady that ran for president whenever she was taking a drink of the water? Have you saw that?
Oh yeah, where she spit something in there.
What is that?
I don't know. Furball. I don't
People are saying that it's
know.
baby frogs.
Ugh.
And if the Bible spoke about people that were demon possessed of coughing up frogs, and if you go back to the movie, and I do not suggest you watch it, uh, The Haunting of Connecticut, the green stuff that comes out of the mouth. And did you see the hole they showed in her tongue?
Mm-mm. I didn't see
Whenever
the hole.
she was laughing, and they took a picture of her mouth open because you know how when she laughs, she opens her mouth really big.
Yeah.
Uh, she had a hole in her tongue like a pit viper does,
Uh,
like a
well,
like a
that doesn't
snake,
surprise me.
right? Like a snake does, you know, in her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
She had one of those.
Those people are evil.
Does attraction like Osteen or no?
Huh?
Attraction. Ask her if
Attraction, do you like Olstein or don't like Olstein? Yes, Sharon, she did. She had green slime and had a snake hole in her tongue.
Ugh.
It was really weird. Uh, have you
Yeah.
seen
See,
the
my sister had Kenneth Copeland in her home.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tracy, you're a brave lady. Because that guy,
He creeps me out.
Oh man, it would me too. I'd be hiding under the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, do you not watch his eyes whenever he's talking? He just like the way I don't know, the way he talks, and he'll take his breath and he'll blow. He'll, you know. I don't know. I don't know if I could visit with him. I'd have to send him to Randy's. Tracy said she's free now, laughing.
Yeah.
So Tracy, whenever you was able to have him as a guest, was he normal or was he weird acting then? Susan said he's a creep.
I agree, Susan.
The sheriff said he acts evil. Randy said
Tracy's-
Randy met him too.
Yeah, Tracy said it's all spiritual manipulation.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, she's had some of the big televangelists in her home.
She said he was strange.
Yeah.
She said years ago he wasn't always this way, was he? I don't think he was always like this, was he?
I don't think it was early on.
I think early on he was kind of all right, wasn't he?
I don't know. I never really watched him because he always creeped me out. He looked weird.
I think him and Jesse started drinking the wrong kind of blood or something. Maybe had some flies in it.
Ugh.
But there was something. Oh, the Cubot said yes, he was. So he might have, the more money he made, the true him might have started showing more and more and more.
Tracy said not early on.
Dana says it's about the money.
Yeah, that's the truth.
No, now remember, it's not about the money or the numbers, Brooks. It's not about that.
I know, because, hey, let me tell you, I've got the best businesses. Don't send me money because,
And
But
if I don't have it, I'll make it up. I promise.
Yeah, hey, you got a dime I can borrow, Mike?
Yeah. Now, I know it's Christmas and money's tight, but come on, guys.
Yeah.
I might have to cut my show in half if people don't start donating more. Yeah, but that's what sets us apart. We don't make fun of God over here either.
No, we don't.
You know,
Absolutely not.
Our God is not buried in Japan. He rose and defeated death. So
that's right.
That's the difference between our God and their God. Our God's not still in the grave. What Joe said? Yep, Joel Oversteen's wife beat up a stewardess. Wow.
And now back to the cryptids, because I'm going to start laughing here.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
When was Andy Griffith possessed?
Somebody said, when was Andy Griffith possessed? Ellen. And then Sharon says, laugh out loud. Someone will start the video right when you said that about money, Mike. Yeah, we're not going to start talking about cryptids until we start seeing some money flying in here, guys. Now, we don't care about the money or the numbers, but look how good our numbers are tonight. Look at that. Well, no, there's something wrong. This ought to be 600, guys, but there's something going on. But it's not right. Yeah, you're going to have to resend the money. It's not coming in. Just double send it. I need to get a special machine so when I sleep at night, I'm able to breathe because I overeat a little bit.
But hey, yeah, I got the best insurance there is, but it don't cover that.
Nothing beats cash.
That's right.
Oh, Randy's cracking me up. Randy said if they don't donate, you're getting banned.
Uh,
Oh my god. Randy, you're killing me. Yeah, after that, people said they're not so worried about Bigfoot or Dogman.
really?
You know, there was an old lady, I'll tell you a story, a good story. And it used to scare the hell out of me when I was little. Uh, oh, sorry, Randy. Wants me to fix my hat. Uh, um, there was this lady that used to go down to my mom's house and not my mom's, my granny's house, and she would visit with her, and she was telling me a story about the old church that's just down the road, and they would stay up. I mean, they would stay up to 2, 3, 4 in the morning, drinking coffee, smoking camels, and talking about experiences in life and stuff like that. I'd stay all night, so I would sit in there and listen, because they had the best stories. And she was telling me, she said, and the ladies that live around here are country ladies. These are tough ladies. These aren't these little like what the duck commanders would call yuppies. I mean, they worked and they talk like a man. And she said, "Now, Mike, this might scare the hell out of you, but it did me. But I'll tell you." She said that she had went to church one day and she had got called to the front of the church. Excuse me. And whenever she got to the front of the church, she had looked back into the audience. She said certain members of the audience had pig heads. Not everybody, but certain people. Well, she would clean the church at, when church was closed and get it ready for church coming up. And this church is in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of the country. My dad actually helped build the church. And she said she was in there one night and she heard something. So she walked back to the back and was trying to find out what was going on, what she had heard. She said she opened the door to where they keep for the air conditioning and everything, the closet door.
Yeah.
She said, I opened that door and she said, Mike, if I ever saw the devil, she said, I saw him that day. She said he was up on the top of that heater thing with his arms wrapped around the pipe. And she said he smiled at me.
Ugh.
She left. And
Well, duh.
yeah, she left. And she said that there was one that I know of. There was one person that had an exorcism there. I don't know if there was more than one. But I know that they had done an exorcism in that church.
Mm.
And I was wondering if you have a church that's full of hypocrites and you have a good preacher, because I believe the preacher was good. Do you believe that if you conduct an exorcism, can that stuff stay in the church?
Oh, I think so. I mean, they would be out of the person, but they're still that being.
Right.
I mean, you.
Did you read what Darla said? I stay up
Mm.
all night drinking Coke, smoking Marlboros, especially in the winter. I used to do that too. I love Marlboros. I haven't smoked in a long time. Hey, Herbert. Uh, I think that if you don't, I think the church is just like any other house. If you don't clean the house, then you're going to have stuff like that in there, right?
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, these things are everywhere. So, yeah, that didn't surprise me. Well, I told you about my friend. Uh, she was married to this guy, And she was telling me, I mean, and she was dead serious. She said that on her ex-husband, that when she was looking at him, said something was peeking out around his head and looking at her, and then it ducked back. And she said it
Ooh,
had its claw or whatever in the top of his head, in his head. She said she could see it. Now that's creepy.
the hell. Did it bother him?
Evidently, it was attached to him. So, and it just got to the point where
I
she
wonder if
didn't
he
stay
had like,
married to him long.
did he have like migraines or anything when that would happen? I wonder.
I don't know. She said that when she was looking at, and she said that it would look around at her and she was kind of looking, bending her head, looking around at it, and he's going, "What are you doing?" And then she's going,
Right.
"Nothing." And then it'd look around behind his head another way. Ooh, yeah.
Did they ever try like taking a picture or whatever to see if it would show up in a picture?
No, she didn't. I think that she got a divorce. She wasn't having that.
Divorced them both.
Yeah. Said, "You can have him."
That was
See ya.
that was a two for one, two for
Yeah.
one divorce.
Yeah. But she said it was the
I've heard
creepiest
preachers talk
thing.
about. I've heard preachers talk about people that have possessions that
Hmm.
they are able to sometimes see the thing that's connected to them. Like
Right.
some people have like a bad back, and they will
Uh-huh.
say they actually see it writing on their back.
Yeah. And that's basically what she said this thing was doing, was riding its back and was looking around his head. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that was creepy.
Tanisha said, did his behavior change when it was on him?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Like I
guess
said,
if
that marriage didn't last very long after that.
so, I
Freaking
guess
friend out.
if you're saved, because people say that if you're saved, Tracy said they call it a spirit of infirmity. So if you're saved, people say you cannot be possessed, but I guess that doesn't mean that you can't have a hitchhiker, right?
I would possibly. I mean, yeah, it
Like an
wouldn't
attack, like
possess you, but it could be in your house.
right,
It
like
could,
it wouldn't be a possession; it would be an attachment.
right, be kind of like having a poltergeist or something in your house, maybe.
Sharon says instead of a monkey on his shoulder, he had a demon riding his back. Oh my gosh, nope.
Yeah.
Tracy says that you can be oppressed by a spirit. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that they can take over pictures because my dad used to speak to a demon in a picture.
Oh,
And, you know, I think that demon went on to another family member. But
yeah.
thank God it ain't here. But
Right.
wherever it went, I'm glad, I'm glad that it
It's
left
not
here.
allowed to stay here.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's not allowed to stay here.
Yeah, I'm all said it's not allowed to stay here, but I got a pretty good idea where it went.
Right.
Uh, where I know where
Yeah.
it lives now, and
Right.
it ain't in the picture no more. Uh, and I don't think it's piggyback riding. I think it lives within. Uh, yeah. If inanimate objects are allowed to interact with you, then you got a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You
You
think?
know, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you start having teddy bears waving at you in the middle of the night, walking across your dresser.
Yeah.
You might have a problem.
Yeah.
I think that teddy bear might get a load of shot.
Yeah.
May not do it any good, but it make me feel better. You know, when I was young, one of my older cousins, he had a Ouija board, and he was into all of this, reading about all this scary stuff. He actually bought a book that the first book was written in human flesh by a cult, and he tried to get me to borrow it and read it, and I never would. But I did play the Ouija board with him one time at his house, and it was me and him and a couple of his friends. And I guess I didn't know the rules because they started playing, and this thing started talking and stuff, knowing like our name and spelling out stuff. So I just got up and left. Well, this one guy that was over there, he starts screaming and having a fit. Oh my God, you took your hands off of it. And he was having a huge fit. Well, I left. The next day, my cousin said he was sleeping on the bed, and he looked at the end of the bed, and there was a lady sitting there. And he said she wasn't dressed, but she was sitting with her back to him. And as she turned her head to him, she aged and looked scarier and scarier and scarier. He ended up getting saved after that and getting rid of all that stuff. But something happened with that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank God he got saved. I mean,
Yes.
that stuff is, it's, if you've ever had paranormal activity in your house, it's scary.
Right.
It's real scary.
Yeah, and I agree right here with what Mark says. The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing people that he doesn't exist.
Right.
You know, that is one of his. And then Donald Klein says succubus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sharon, something great came out of it. It did for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually sitting here talking to you. No, not really. Now you owe me $20 for that.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
There's Romans.
Yeah.
He said he was watching TV and finally realized there was no way to comment. So, anyways, hi all. Good to see you, Romans. But yeah, I've seen a lot of scary things in my life that I know were
Mhm.
supernatural, and
Yeah.
I don't like talking about those things because I'm not going to lie, they make me feel really, really uncomfortable. Uh, I believe that in some cases, uh, people that have mental disorders is not always a mental disorder. I believe sometimes it can be a demon possession.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we had a lady that lived across the street from us, and I don't think that she was mental. I think that she was demon possessed because she'd sick her damn dog on us every time she seen us. Uh, she had a garden hoe. It was broke, and it was probably 2 foot long, maybe, with the hoe on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
She would stand out in her driveway in a dress, and she would bat rocks with this hoe. Well, she had this little dog. I think he was a blue heeler. It would follow her wherever she went. We'd ride our bike by. She'd sick that dog on us, and that dog would bite us. I mean, tear you up. And she would laugh. And she would sit out there and take the water meter lid off of the water meter and drink the water out of there. She called it her well.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
it was rainwater with mud and crawdads and sewer, because everybody's
Uh,
old septic systems, back in the old days had run over, and
well,
she'd sit out there and drink it.
maybe she was building her immune system up.
Yeah. And one day she found out that my mom was sick. So she made my mom a sandwich and brought it
Uh-oh.
over. And
Nope.
it had, what was it? Bananas on it, and mayonnaise, and meat,
Jelly.
and jelly, and
It's just a bunch of stuff.
just whatever she could throw on it.
Oh.
She ended up burning to death.
Oh, that was the lady that fell in the barrel.
Fire, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
She was a mental.
Kay, you didn't eat that sandwich, did you?
Absolutely not.
She said, absolutely not.
But it was really sweet of her, because she knew I was sick.
She thought it was really nice of her because she knew Mom was sick and she was trying to take care of Mom.
Right. Right.
That was so nice of her to sick that damn dog on me. But yeah,
Kill your mama, Mom.
Tanisha says, can a demon just choose to persist you, or do you have to allow it in your life? Because I don't give consent to any demon. I believe they can keep trying you.
They can try you, but you have free will.
Yeah.
You have the will to rebuke it.
There used to be an old, what they called a haunted house. Dana said she sounds like the sick one down the road, and everybody used to talk about it being haunted. You could drive by at night, and this old house hadn't had electricity in a long time. And sometimes the second story would have a light on in the window, and you could see the old lady sitting in the window, and she'd wave at you.
Oh gosh.
I think it burnt, didn't it, Mom? It burnt.
Yeah, it burned a long time ago.
Yeah, it ended up burning.
Wow. Ugh.
Yeah, Tracy says you have to consent for it to contact.
Yeah. To continue.
Yeah, I've wondered sometimes too. A lot of these evil people, they they never talk about having any kind of encounters. Do you think they don't have encounters because it already knows that it has them?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're the encounter themselves.
Right. I've wondered that before. If because they're always like, "Oh, there ain't nothing out there," and they act all evil and they're beating their dogs and beating their wife, and beat their kids, and I'm like, well, it's probably you are the creature.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're the monster. Yeah. Yeah. How many people refer to those kind of people? He's a monster. She's a monster.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and the feral people that eat each other.
Mm.
I mean, Sarah says that she'd rather run into a Sasquatch than a feral person because she doesn't want to get cooked.
Right. Yeah, I'd rather run into a Sasquatch than a feral person or a dog man or
Really?
whatever else is out there.
So you think it would be scarier to see a Sasquatch run across your porch, a werewolf, or a feral person?
I think the dog man would scare me the most, I would think. But I don't know, a feral person, I don't running by naked and all that good stuff.
That long hair with that goofy laugh.
Ugh. How about none of them? I'll
Yeah.
just go that way.
A lot of people are saying a werewolf would scare them the most. I think a feral person would be scary because you could be walking to your car and then they shoot you with an arrow or something.
Yeah. But, I mean, who's
Peter
to
says
say
a feral dog squatch.
I mean, who's to say that Bigfoot or Dogman can't use a spear too?
Well, look at that Kandahar giant.
Yeah,
He came out and shish kebabbed a few guys, didn't he?
yeah, he did. Of course, that was more of a I'd say more human-like appearance. I mean, features. It didn't look like a Bigfoot or a Dogman, or it was just
There
a
used to be an
different
old.
being. A different being. There are so many different ones.
So what do you think about this? There was an old guy a long time ago. A friend of the family told me about this story. He used to own a store in the old Alloway in the old town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said he used to have 6 fingers on each hand.
Mm-hmm.
And they said he was really weird.
Okay. Well, now there is a genetic. Uh, there is a genetic problem that people do get the extra digits. I do know that.
Mike, you went to school with a little boy that
So
had the thumb. Did you win or little boy?
I went to school with a little boy that had an extra thumb too.
They're
yeah.
going to have him taken off, though, while he was little.
They took him off whenever he was little.
Right. Right.
So is that Nephilim?
I don't think so. I think that's a birth defect.
Yeah.
I mean,
Extra booger picker?
it could be, but I don't know. I didn't do their DNA or anything, so is there that unknown DNA in there? But
It just makes you
from my
wonder.
yeah, from my understanding, there is a birth defect in humans that does do that.
They said the Kandahar giant had a double row of teeth also.
Uh-huh. There's
Wow.
people that have double rows of teeth too, as well.
So are they Nephilim or are they a birth defect?
I think it's a birth defect.
I do
It's
too.
kind of like the monkey boys, the ones they called the monkey boys from Mexico that had hair all over them.
Right.
That's a genetic birth defect.
Sharon, I've heard
It's
about that. The blue people up in Kentucky and Virginia.
yeah, the kids. This was that's the, or the was the kids green or blue? I heard about
I've heard
two
about
little
the
kids.
Yeah, I've heard about the blue people. Uh, there was a woman that was found naked in Kentucky that was actual blue skinned, and they said that she was feral.
Huh. Okay. Now I've heard that that's caused possibly by what they were eating.
I think they call them the moon people also.
Hmm.
I think that was another name that they used for them was the moon people. Tracy Tracy said better to eat you with.
More teeth.
Are you sure Copeland didn't do something to you? It sounds like something he would say. Better to eat you with those big old eyeballs poking out at you.
Oh, he's creepy looking. Ugh.
He does scare me.
Seriously. He's just strange.
He is. He would scare me.
Hmm.
Well, does anybody have any questions for us tonight? Uh, we will do I'm not sure what night we're going to do it, but we will do a night, guys, to where the members and the regular subscribers will get to pick for your gift. We haven't forgot about that. I may try to do that Christmas Eve night, just hop on and we'll just do a real quick drawing. Me and Brooks will have to get together with the rest of the moderators and get some numbers thought up. We're not going to tell you what we're going to send you. It's going to be a surprise because it is Christmas, and it wouldn't be a surprise if we told you what we was going to be sending you. So we might just send you a big old pile of candy or something. You never know. Or a self-autographed Kenneth Copeland book
How about a
with an
pumpkin?
elf on the shelf. An elf on the shelf signed by Kenneth Copeland that really walks and talks and wants to be your buddy forever.
Oh,
Oh, let's see. Somebody told me to scroll up. Robert Waldo Tallest officially murdered a man. Nephilim blood. Huh.
measured man. Nephilim blood.
Tracy said she'd send me that book. That's okay, Tracy. I don't need it. I've seen enough of him on TV. Nope, it won't be ticking, Herbert. It might be whispering, but it won't be ticking. I don't think anybody has any questions for us. I think we about covered. I think we kind of went off the rails, back on the rails, off the rails tonight.
Yeah. It was
I had a fun
fun
night with
time.
everybody.
I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yes, I always enjoy coming on here visiting with everybody. We might. I know we'll have a short show for the giveaway. I don't know how long it'll be when we do it. I'll find out what day we're going to do it for sure, and we'll get it all figured out. But yeah, we got the Oompa Loompas. But we'll get it all figured out. But I think that's about all I got for y'all tonight. And I'll be doing a longer video, hopefully released tomorrow, since y'all like the longer videos. I've got one that's about Christmas that I'll release tomorrow. And no, it's not a good video, but it is a Christmas video, so don't expect it to end nicely. It wasn't Santa, I will tell you that much.
What is that? Rompus? What's his name?
Oh, Crumpus. No, this is actually worse than
Crumpus.
Crumpus.
Oh, that.
Yeah, a person sent me an encounter in, and it's a pretty good one. I'll admit it's kind of long, but it's a good one. You definitely wouldn't want to send your kids outside to check to see what's on the roof.
Ooh.
Because it wasn't Santa Claus. But I'll try to get it out tomorrow around 5:00, and
Okay.
I think that's about all I got. And I'll let Brooks tell y'all goodbye, and then I'll tell y'all goodbye, and we'll jump off here.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Y'all have a good evening.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody, and we'll see you on the giveaway. Y'all have a great night and a great week until we see you next. Until we see you, though, don't be something's dinner. And if Randy ends up getting 8, hopefully we'll have it on film for you. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.